Hey everybody, it's Christina. Welcome back to the channel. The holidays are sneaking up on me and I need to get some tags made. So we're going to make a couple of tags today using a few die cutting things, which I already pre-prepped. I'm going to be doing the tags out of this dotted tags die by Spellbinders. I also have this stitched hillside, which I die cut this green cardstock right here. Well, that's not cardstock, but that's a pattern paper. And then we also have the Winter Village by Simon Says Stamp. The pattern paper that I'm using, which are these couple of pieces right here, including our little houses, are all from this Echo Park Santa Claus Lane collection. I don't know if this is still available. I've had it, and I just went through and just pulled out a couple of neutral kind of colors that I can use to make a tag, but this has some great patterns in here for the holidays. Lots of great tags can come out of this. Easy tags too, just by grabbing these little journaling pieces and simple quick tags you can make. For my tags, I use the dies and cut them onto some craft cardstock. And then I have my village cut out onto this kind of wood grain paper, little floral or snowflake, green snowflake pattern paper is what I'm trying to say there. I have this solid piece that came from that same paper pad cut with the hillside, which I'm not going to need that die anymore, so I'll put that away. And then I pulled out this kind of a reddish pink rose kind of color, but I do want it to be a little bit darker, so I am going to first start with that. We're just going to kind of move some of these things out of the way, and I pulled out some aged mahogany distress oxide, and all I want to do is just put some of that on here just so that I'm have a little bit of a darker color, because the ribbon I'm using for my tags is a little bit darker rose color than I have in cardstock. So I thought I would just kind of make one that was close enough to match that. So that's all I'm going to do. It's just a little bit. It's only just to use to peek through my windows. So I'm going to set that aside and let it dry. While that's drying, I'm going to prep these tags, and they don't have holes at the top for putting our ribbon through. So I'm just going to make my own hole using my Crop-A-Dile. So I'm just pulled out my little ruler here, and they're almost 2 inches wide. So I am going to just use my ruler and sort of generally decide where I'm going to punch my hole. So I'm just putting a little dot just about an inch in on my tag, so that I can come in with my Crop-A-Dile and do a little hole there. So this is my Crop-A-Dile. I've had this for quite some years. It's pretty beat up and grungy, but there's 2 punches here. So there's a bigger punch on this side, and I forget the measurements on these. And then there's a smaller circle punch on this side, and that's what I'm going to use to punch my hole. So I'm just going to stick that in there, and if you look through the top of the punch, you can kind of see where your mark is to punch that. So I'm going to do that on all 3 of my tags. As a matter of fact, I can probably just put them together and do 2 of them at one time. There we go. All right, so those are all ready to go. Now I'm going to also do a little bit more with these as well. I'm going to stamp on these and just create a snowy kind of scenery in the background. I want to do some stamping to create a snowy background on these tags. So I have my Simon Says Stamp Brutus Monroe stamp and stencil mat right inside of my MISTI, and I have that down with my magnet just to keep it in place, because I'm going to use that to hold my tags in place. I could put the magnet on my tag, but I want to cover the entire tag with the snowflakes, so I'm not going to be able to do that if my magnet's in the way. I have the Simon Says Stamp Falling Snow rubber stamp that I've had for a number of years. So it's a great background for just creating a snowy background. And I'm just going to use my Concord and 9th white pigment ink. If you have like a StazOn, a white StazOn ink, you can use that as well. And then I'll just grab my little stamp press here just to make sure I get a nice good coverage. And I'm going to do that to all 3 of my tags. Now, the best way to get your tags off of your mat is just by pulling it out and rolling it, just to pop that off there. I also want to be careful because I don't want to get, that ink is still going to be wet, and I don't want to get it all over the place. So I'm going to do all 3 of these tags. And I don't know about anybody else, but I am so far behind with any kind of card making, tags, getting ready for Christmas. I don't know. I've just been having an off year. So much going on in life that I just feel like I'm completely off this year with prepping for Christmas. I love that. That is so pretty. I keep wanting to grab my tweezers to pick it up. So we're going to just curl the mat, put that aside, and then we just need to grab our last tag and put that into place. And then again, we'll just ink up one more time. And create that snowy background. So I'm just going to make 3 tags today, but you can mass produce this. Just do all your die cutting at once and get them all done at the same time. So there we go. How cute is that snowy background? I'm going to set this aside to dry. And then I'll clean up my mess here on my stamp and on my mat. So I have the hillside piece here. And what I want to do is I want to cut out a piece for each one of these dies. So I want them to also have that same dotted edge going around the bottom. What I'm going to do is die cut these, again, using my Spellbinders dies. I'm going to stick the 2 layers. So this die comes in 2 layers. We got the die cut piece, and then we have the dotted piece. So that just goes right inside here. And I'm going to run this through my machine. Now I think I am going to have to go ahead and die cut another piece of the greenery for the hill because I don't think I'm going to get 3 across on this. I did go ahead and cut another one of the hillside pieces with the green pattern paper so that I can have a third one. It was just way too close with the hillside. I wasn't going to be able to get all 3 of them out of one piece, and that was about 6 inches long. So now what we're going to do is take my little houses here and my piece of pattern paper or solid color paper from my pattern paper pad that I use the aged mahogany on and use that to create a backdrop for my houses. They don't come with a solid die, so I am just creating my own kind of faux background for this so that it's not, so it kind of looks like we have windows. So now I'll have something like that that peeks out through the window and is more solid. I'm going to do that for the other 2. So I have all of those little background pieces cut out, and I'm just going to go ahead and add some glue to hold those into place. Just a couple of dots here and there is all we really need. I don't know what's in here. I don't know if this is multi-matte medium or if it's Gina K Connect glue. I'm going to say it's multi-matte medium because I think that's what's in that bottle. So we're just going to take our piece and make sure that our windows are all covered. And do the same for our other 2 pieces or our other 2 village pieces. I thought I had a to and from stamp in my Christmas stamps, but apparently not. So I had to dig around in my regular stamps until I found one that I can use. So this Gina K Mini Wreath Builder, if you're looking for a to and from and you have this, it is in there. So there's a more scripted to and from and a solid to and from. And I think I want to use the scripted to and from for my tags here today. So I'm just going to pull out the to and the from, and we're going to try to figure out an easy way to mount these onto a block so that I could just stamp them out really quick. I don't want to go through the whole process of putting it on my MISTI. So we'll do from there, and what I'm doing is just putting it on my mat and a 2 up there. I'll stamp this out. Let's grab this piece right here just to make sure we're in a good spot for our sentiment. I'm going to use my VersaFine Black Onyx and see how they line up. So they do okay. Got a little fuzzy though. There we go. I think that'll work. So let's just make sure. Well, let's start with our bigger tag. So we're going to start with our so I'm going to start with this tag right here, and I'm going to do to and from on the one side, just like so. And then I'm going to do to and from on the bottom. So we're going to start 2 down here And then I will do from a little closer underneath. And then the same thing with this one, we'll do maybe from a little further this way, so leave some space to write. And then 2 will go over on this side, just like so. So now we're ready to start building our tags. I am going to start off with this one because this is the deeper tag, and I think I want to do a little popping and dimension of this one. And then we have this one here, and I think I have black ink on me, of course. It never fails. Black ink, but I can cover it. Not even going to know it's there. And then we have our to and from on this side. I'm going to decide which is going to go where. I know this one is pretty tall, so I'm going to put this one right here. Then we have more of our taller one here. And then I think, actually, no, I'm going to use my medium one over on this side. And then my short one will go on top of the taller hill, just like so. And then I did go ahead and die cut a couple of the trees that came with that village collection. So let's first go ahead and start putting these together. I'm going to start with layering up I think before I put my tag fronts down, I'm going to do the houses and the village pieces rather. So I'm going to add adhesive to the back, again using my trusty liquid glue. We're just going to put these into place. Like that. This one I think is going to, no, we don't need to put that under. I was thinking about putting that one on top of the hill and over the top, but we're just going to put it so it's almost like it's sitting on the hill. I think that will do. And then our third one is going to go more to the right side of the tag. So you have one that's on the left, one in the middle, one on the right. I decided where the trees are going to go. Actually, I think this one's going to go over this side. There you go. It kind of bounces out a little bit better. We are going to go ahead and put these together. So I'm going to start off with this one. And I was thinking about adding dimension and popping these down, but then I realized if I do that, it's going to be harder to write the to and from on. So we're going to skip the dimension and adhere these right down onto our card or a tag. Boy, that's hard to remember that we're not making a card, we're making a tag today. So we're going to add the bottom half, our little hill, and then I'm going to stick this tree just underneath that hill. And then I'm going to put our smaller tree down towards the bottom. Just like that. I'm going to put a block on top just to hold that in place, and then I'll go ahead and do this other tag here. So doing this in a little bit of a kind of production way is making it go by really quick. If I wanted to, I could die cut a whole bunch of these and just get them all ready to go and then work on them a little bit here and there every day. But like I said, I'm running out of time. Christmas is sneaking up on me pretty quick, and I am not together this holiday season, so let's make this work. I did already make a couple of these, so that tree's a little crooked. And then again, the same thing, I'm going to put this bottom tag down, cover my little boo-boo that I made with my black ink. I'm going to grab this taller tree. Get that one tucked underneath our hill before it dries. And then we could do our little tree right next to our house. I have this, is it Vivant? It's in dark rose. I got it at Spellbinders website. And I went ahead and add some ties at the top of our tags. So I'm just taking my ribbon, folding it in half. So I have the hoop, and the hoop is going to go through the tag hole. And then once it's through, just going through the hoop, I'm just going to tuck these two end pieces right on through. And that makes a little topper and a way for us to tie our tag onto our gift. And then I also want to add a little bow, because I thought a bow would be really pretty for these as well. So I have this DMC gold floss. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but we are going to pull out this dark rose ribbon one more time. I'm going to add a little bow to each of my tags, and I already have one made. And I'm trying to show you how I make my bow, but I'm having a hard time here. So we're going to try it 3 times. Maybe by the last one, I'll have it right and I can show you how to do it. But I have my thread and my piece of ribbon, and all I do is I'm just doing it like I'm tying my shoes. Just making sure that when I pull it through, I'm grabbing both the thread and the ribbon at the same time and pulling that through. And then I could just go ahead and kind of pull on the ends and make it how I want it to be. So that actually worked out really well, this one, except for I just almost pulled out that loop. And we just play with it until we get it the way we want it. So I'm just gonna cut this off. I'm not gonna worry about how long the ends are right now, because I'm gonna go ahead and put that onto my tag, and then I'll trim it up later. So I'm gonna do one more bow. Again, doing it like I'm tying my shoes, just making a hoop, another hoop, running it through, making sure I have both the twine or thread and the ribbon at the same time. And that one went very easy. I'm going to glue these down just using some of my regular glue. So I have my Barely Art glue right here. We're just going to add that on there. And I'm going to take a block and hold that into place and let that dry. Actually, I'm just going to grab my tweezers and hold it into place and let it dry. So we're going to do our other one here. My glue is kind of leaking out of my bottle, so I'm just tapping the ribbon into that glue and then putting it right onto my tag. And then I can grab another tweezers and hold that into place while the glue dries. Same thing with this one. Tap it into the glue that's spilling out of the top. And then we had to grab out one more third pair of tweezers. I think this is the first time I've had to use 3 pair of tweezers at one time. And we're going to hold that into place as well and let the glue dry. I have a little drying party going on here. And then once I'm sure they're dry, I am just going to trim the ends of the tails on our ribbon. One. I thought of one more thing that I want to add to my tags. And I'm doing this a little late. I probably should have done this early on, but it is okay. I decided my tags needed just a little bit of shimmer and shine. So I am adding some of my rock candy glitter to these tags. I'm just dabbing on some multi-matte medium and sprinkling on my glitter, and then I'll just set these aside to dry. I probably should have done that before I put the ribbon on, but that's okay. What's Christmas time without a little bit of fun glitter everywhere? So I just have to do my last one here. I have the first one done already. Again, I'm just dotting where those white snowflake dots are from where I stamped. I can even add a couple extra if I want to. Doesn't have to be where those were stamped. And I'm just going to sprinkle on my rock candy. I'm even going right over the glitter or the ribbon. I'm not even going to worry about it. So we have some added glitter to our tags, and it just adds a nice little sparkly shine to it. Super cute. I'm going to clean up this mess. A little last minute sparkle to our tags is always a good thing. So those are our tags for today. I really had fun putting these together. I can't wait to work on some more of them. I have a couple more I need to make for the holidays, and I'll show you where I started. I started off with just doing a real basic, simple look to this, and I just did the craft cardstock, took my village piece and didn't put any backer on it and just stuck the trees on. That's what it started from. And then I moved on to this one where I added the backer to it and then decided that I was going to do the glitter. The only thing that I did differently with this one is that I did pop it up so you could see that there's dimension inside of it. And then when I started to put these together, I decided that we don't need dimension because I'm going to have to write to and from on the tag. So we skipped the dimension and just made it a little bit more flat. I hope you enjoyed today's video and found it inspiring. And tell me below if you are also last minute prepping for the holidays. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.